So, this is a clip that, unfortunately, I'm going to have to mute and keep low. Yeah. um, so I'm just gonna regale you with a tale of, um, my singing. It sucks. The end. Um, so, uh, but the whole point of this was to show you what I do when I get off of a stressful day at work. And honestly, belting out and, making a total doofus of myself, singing along to this mix that I really, 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 really freaking enjoy, is, um, yeah, it's a good way to de-stress. And, I think my silly faces will be enough for you guys to get the picture. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to do a video that kind of covered what it's like to unwind after I've had the worst, most stressful night at work since I started working there. Um, it started off like a really freaking good night because I had all of this work to come home to. I was very excited about editing. Like, I love the editing process. It takes forever, and parts of it suck, but for the most part, like, it's fun. And my channel is gonna be amazing. Like, I had 30 views on my first video already. Like, that blows my mind already, and only 3 of them were me. So thank you to everybody who's been watching that. I appreciate that. And if you like it, share it, get people into my channel. um, but yeah, so I was gonna do an inside look at what what it's like to decompress. And part of what I do when I decompress is come and sit down and do my dabs and um, put on music to sing along to. Um, and I have to cover it for copyright reasons because I don't want to get dinged by the people they're covering, or by them, but I don't think they would copyright ding me. I'm not monetizing yet. But um, yeah, so ooh, we're gonna have to see if we can get some fancy coverage for that. While I am open about dabs, I don't the thing that I use to do my dabs, it looks very scary, and that's not something that I want my anybody outside my family to see. um but anyway, today was a very difficult night. We had a upper management in-house. He's a great guy. I don't know why people let him stress them out, but there you have it. Everybody was stressed out, and when it came time to make cuts, and this one server didn't get cut, he decided to throw things in the server station and pitch a fit. Um, I don't know. I know I've been there, like, where snapping is like you feel like it's the only option you have, and like slamming something makes you feel better. But and I know he didn't do it on purpose, so there's that. But um my post-traumatic stress disorder doesn't understand that stuff's not done on purpose, and I got triggered and I reacted anyway, and it ruined my night. I was really, I was really vibing on the whole night. I'm starting to, get a feel for the servers that I can, that I can trust, that will work well with me, that, will help me when I need it. Um, because they know I'll help them if they help me. That's how it works. But this, this post-traumatic stress response that I had, I can still feel it. Like, my chest is like tight and it's working harder than it should to, keep, to get me to breathe deeply. Like, I go and it catches instead of like, making me feel better. And I just, when I did the podcast episode, Service Industry Wounds of War, like, this is the stuff I'm talking about. I made $38 tonight. 38 freaking dollars, okay? Let me tell you, it was not worth $38 to have a tray thrown at me. Or not at me, but, I was standing right in the way when he pitched his fit. And so, the fact that it triggered me regardless, it doesn't matter if it was at me or not. The fact is, we crack under the pressure, and it makes us do stupid shit. Like, I know that he doesn't get off on behaving like an animal. I know that. But yeah, it's to the point where I'm like, I have these harebrained half-ass theories about how people's brains work in certain situations, and and then I come to find out that it's really not that half-assed a theory after all. Like, it's just whoa, like, yeah, and that's another thing. One of the biggest reasons why I sound like I'm not put together when I do these recordings is because I do them when I get off work. And, as much as I love my job and I love where I work and I love my managers, there is just a point where, if you're comparing your job to what it's like to be at war, it's crap. And I don't know what we can do to fix that. It's a sad fact of the business that stress and pressure are, the two key components. And people are going to snap under those conditions. And that's just, it is the way it is. I am looking at the date on my phone. It is September 26th today. And that makes it 7 days until the 3rd of October. The 3rd of October is my favorite day of the year. I live for October 3rd because October 3rd is when I give me 1 second. October 3rd. I'll come back in just a minute. I need to pause for a second. Hey, sorry about that. I got a message from my best friend, and I've been I tried to get a hold of him to tell him, to talk to him when I was on my way home about this pseudo assault that happened to me while I was working. And yeah, October 3rd is, so for those of you who are not familiar with the anime Full Metal Alchemist, October 3rd is the day that Edward and Alphonse Elric decided to leave their house and go to try to find the cure for what made them lose their bodies. And they burned their house down in order to do that without feeling any attachments to anything. And so yeah, it's symbolic, not just because Full Metal Alchemist is my favorite anime and manga, but also because the idea of burning something to the ground so that you don't have any more attachments to make it easier for you to go find the answers you need, that even now, it's been almost 5 years since the first time I saw or watched Full Metal Alchemist. And I have to tell you, it's pretty unreal that it still resonates to me, to this day. I go through phases. Like, I started out really liking Soul Eater. I go in and out of my Naruto obsession. But Full Metal Alchemist is one of those ones that came and sat in my heart, and it stuck. And it's not one of those ones that's like, sometimes I'm into it, sometimes I'm not. Like, I'm literally always either reading the manga, watching the anime, talking about it, thinking about it. It is one of the things that I was allowed to have books with me in the hospital. I was admitted to a psych ward after a suicide attempt in 2018. And while I was in the hospital, they let my mom bring me three books. She brought me 3 of my manga of Full Metal Alchemist, and that got me through so much of that hospital stay that was so traumatizing. And that is something that is like, that's going to be inextricably linked now to my mental health and to that stay in the hospital. But it's not in a bad way, because it was the thing from the outside that I had that I'm sorry. One more time, I'm going to dip out. Hopefully I'll be able to clean this up in editing. I apologize. One more time. Thank you so much for your patience. Back to Full Metal Alchemist. It really, really helped me through one of, it was probably the most difficult time of my adult life, that time of my life. And hospitalization, not only did it not help me, but I developed, so I was really having a struggle with my fibromyalgia, because they keep it so dang cold in hospitals, because they have to keep the germs down, that my fibromyalgia was giving me problems. And one of the nurses says, how come you haven't ever been, how come nobody's ever suggested that you go on gabapentin? And I thought, wow, oh, okay. And it helped. Oh my goodness. Gabapentin is the most amazing drug on the planet. If you're not also diagnosed with bipolar disorder and given a prescription of lithium, because gabapentin and lithium have a toxic interaction, one that can cause what's known as tardive dyskinesia. So I went off both medications, but it was too late, and now I have a permanent tremor. That's, as I mentioned, in a clip I might incorporate into this video, but I'll definitely be talking about it in another video, is why I don't intend to actually show my process. It takes a lot for me to overcome the tremor to draw the way that I do. And it's just, I'm not there with the courage yet, as far as being able to, to share just how disabled I really am. Yeah, so that's something that, maybe in the future, but not yet. So to have had the ability to have something that was so meaningful to me, in that situation, it's all, the only thing that tarnishes Full Metal Alchemist for me is that, the voice of Edward Elric, which I used to have such a crush on him, just because the voice is so stinking adorable. Hang on a second. We gotta do something like I was listening to Rumi and 10 Second Songs earlier. I love singing along to this mashup. It's absolutely like my favorite in the whole world. Let's see what we can get. Let's see. Here we go.
The Full Metal Alchemist and living legend of the people! Let's hear it for Edward Elric! What? Where? I can't see him. Working grade school is more like it. Good luck, Beansprout. Don't call me small! I'll break down your feet and stick them on your head! On your knees! I said get down on the ground!
What, so we could see eye to eye? Surely you must be used to people looking down on you.
Nobody calls me a pipsqueak and gets away with it! Not even a little girl!
Is that so? Gosh, I'm so terrified of the whiny little pipsqueak.
Shut up and take a look at yourself! If you're a girl like they all say, why do you look like a paper?
Don't forget about his metal father.
No, you've got it all wrong. Al's not my father. He's actually my younger brother.
Younger brother? But he's so much bigger than you are. Aren't you not the Full Metal Alchemist? He is.
You mean that little shorty there?
Shorty! Could a shorty do this? What else you wanna call me, a half-pint Beansprout midget? I'm still growing you backwater desert idiot!
No, I couldn't possibly.
So, there you see, we have one of my favorite quotes from the manga is, oh shoot, now I can't remember. It was an exchange between Envy and Ed where Envy is like, you know, making their usual threats and, you know, and they're like, and Edward was like not like reacting, and then they were like, you know, and you're short, and he starts freaking out like but the voice actor for the character of Edward Elric unfortunately was credibly accused of some nefarious activity towards minors. Not necessarily like young children, but still, you're not supposed to play kissy face with the teenagers that you meet at your conventions, sir. And you're most definitely not supposed to threaten people who, you know, say that they're gonna come out and you know, and expose you for being a creep. So that really is the only thing that tarnishes it for me, and honestly, he's such a small part of that character, the voice, you know, his spirit and his heart and his brain and, you know, how well he was written, that comes from Hiromu Arakawa, who is the author of the manga. And, you know, that's what matters. That's what I see and what I hear and what I feel when I watch Full Metal Alchemist. It's not about the voice actor anymore. It's about Hiromu Arakawa, and it's about the fact that my favorite manga was written by a woman. Like, that's unheard of, and the fact that it's one of the most popular and one of the most successful shonen manga and anime both, and has successful video games and movies, and that it was written by a woman, like, it's just, I mean, that's almost unheard of, honestly, in shonen, because it's for boys, and, you know, as much as women can write for boys, I mean, most, you know, a lot of them just choose not to, because they want to write who they can relate to. So I am dropping colored pencils everywhere. I was working on my One Piece project. I have to share you. Oh gosh, I have to share. Okay, so this video that's gonna be going up tomorrow is gonna have more finished than the video that's gonna go up on Monday, but it's still gonna be freaking. It's really fun for me to show this process. OMG. I am so proud of this. If you look up close, you can see I did not have a navy blue for Sanji's navy blue jacket. So what I did was took a black and a blue, Copenhagen blue. It's one of my favorite colors, shades of blue. It's this one. No, is it? No, that's violet. No, it's this one. Copenhagen blue. Oh god, I love it. It's beautiful. I'm also using it to color in the background of an ocean that I'm working on. But so what I had to do was black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, black, blue, and I just cross-hatched it over and over and over and over again until it was burnished and looked navy blue. So I'm very almost like inordinately proud of that, but yeah, so I'm starting to, my back is really, I have hypermobility syndrome, which is really common in autistic people. It's not autoimmune related, it's not Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I ruled that out when I officially was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So I just, maybe I guess my point here is that, if you see, like, I'm trying to have this conversation and my brain feels like mush and my body hurts and it's so freaking hard for me to function right now, and I'm just so out of it and tired, and like I don't really think about the fact that the people that you encounter when you go out to eat are coming home and feeling like this. Like, please think about it and make sure that you're not contributing to being the reason why somebody snaps and throws a tray at an innocent busser. So I guess I'm gonna try to go get some editing done. We'll see if I can maybe get some work on my podcast done. Definitely keep an eye out for those videos, the podcast ones. Those are gonna be coming probably tomorrow also. That being said, I hope everybody had a better Saturday night than I did. And I will see you all in the next video.